Most people still think the future is something that'll show up in a decade, but the truth is, it's already here, and the biggest funds on the planet are quietly buying their way into it right now. Artificial intelligence, defense, clean energy, biotechnology. For sectors already moving trillions, and for sectors that could turn ordinary investors into early winners of the next economic cycle, if they understand what's happening beneath the surface. And there's a surprisingly simple, almost hidden way to get exposure to all of this, without stock picking, without being an expert, and with far less risk. Future-focused ETFs. Today, I'm breaking down the ETFs leading these 4 megatrends, why Wall Street is quietly loading up on them, and the real story behind their impact over the next decade, the part no one is really talking about. My name is Rick, and here on the channel we dive deep into finance, investing, economics, and the strategies shaping the future of money. Before we jump in, make sure to hit the like button, subscribe, watch this video until the end, and if you can, share it with someone who needs to understand where smart money is flowing right now. It truly helps the channel bring you more insights that actually move the needle. Place jobs en masse, but also generate the largest wave of millionaires in history, the silent revolution that is changing the world. While you read this text, a massive transformation is taking place. We're not talking about a small or gradual change. We're in the middle of the greatest technological revolution since the invention of the internet, and perhaps since the Industrial Revolution. The difference this time, the change is faster, deeper, and more disruptive than anything we've ever seen. Artificial intelligence is writing code, diagnosing diseases, and creating art. Autonomous military drones are redefining global security. Renewable energies are replacing fossil fuels at record speed, and biotechnology is promising to cure diseases that were once considered incurable. These aren't futuristic predictions, they're realities happening now. And here's the paradox that few understand. These same technologies that will eliminate millions of jobs will also create the greatest generation of wealth the world has ever seen. The question isn't if this will happen. The question is, will you be on the right side of this transformation? The inconvenient truth about automation, let's be direct. Millions of jobs will disappear in the coming years. It's not pessimism, it's mathematics. Recent studies estimate that between 30% and 40% of current jobs could be automated in the next 2 decades. We're talking about truck drivers replaced by autonomous vehicles, accountants replaced by algorithms, customer service representatives replaced by advanced chatbots, and even programmers being assisted or replaced by AI that writes code. But here's what the alarmist headlines don't tell you. Every technological revolution in history has eliminated old jobs but created even more new and better paying jobs. The difference is that those who prospered were those who invested in emerging technologies, not those who resisted them. Think about the Industrial Revolution. Manual weavers lost their jobs to machines, but those who invested in textile factories built generational fortunes. The same happened with the internet. Physical bookstores closed, but Amazon created thousands of millionaires among its early investors and employees. History is repeating itself now, but on an even larger scale. Why ETFs are your best bet? Here's the problem. Identifying which AI company will be the next Nvidia, or which biotech startup will develop the cure for Alzheimer's, is practically impossible for the average investor. Even professional investors get it wrong most of the time when trying to pick individual stocks. The failure rate for tech startups exceeds 90%. Most biotech companies never develop a marketable product, and in the defense sector, government contracts can make a company soar or go bust overnight. This is where ETFs, exchange-traded funds, come in. An ETF works like a basket of stocks. Instead of betting everything on one company, you invest in dozens or even hundreds of companies in a specific sector. It's instant diversification. Think of it this way. You don't need to know which horse will win the race, you just need to know the race is happening and bet on the right track. The ETFs of the future, focused on AI defense, clean energy and biotechnology, aren't speculation. They're strategic investments in the sectors that will dominate the coming decades. Artificial intelligence, the sector that will change everything. Artificial intelligence is no longer science fiction. It's the most transformative technology of the 21st century. Consider this, ChatGPT reached 100 million users in just 2 months. For comparison, Instagram took 2.5 years to reach the same milestone. AI adoption is happening at unprecedented speed. But what many don't realize is that we're just at the beginning. AI is being integrated into practically every sector of the economy and healthcare. AI systems can already detect cancer in imaging exams with more accuracy than human radiologists. Hospitals are using algorithms to predict which patients have the highest risk of complications. In finance, banks use AI to detect fraud, assess credit, and conduct automated trading. Some investment funds are already completely managed by algorithms. In industry, smart factories use AI to optimize production, predict equipment maintenance, and reduce waste. In retail, AI-based recommendation systems generate billions in additional sales for companies like Amazon and Netflix. AI companies are just profitable. They have enviable profit margins because scalable software has a marginal cost close to zero. Once developed, the same algorithm can serve 1 million customers at the same cost. AI ETFs invest in companies that develop specialized chips for AI processing. Machine learning software platforms, cloud computing companies that provide infrastructure for AI, and companies that apply AI in specific sectors. The global AI market was valued at around $200 billion in 2024, with growth projections to over $1.8 trillion by 2030. It's not linear growth, it's exponential. Defense, the sector that never goes into recession. Talking about defense investments may seem controversial, but let's look at the economic facts. While other sectors rise and fall with the economy, the defense sector remains surprisingly stable. Why? Because governments never stop investing in national security, regardless of the economic situation. And the defense sector is undergoing its own technological revolution. Autonomous drones, no longer remotely controlled, but fully autonomous, capable of making real-time decisions. Cyber warfare. Countries are investing billions in offensive and defensive capabilities in cyberspace. Space defense systems. The space race is back, but now with a focus on military satellites and orbital defense systems. Hypersonics, missiles that travel at more than 5 times the speed of sound, impossible to intercept with current technology. After recent conflicts and growing geopolitical tensions, countries around the world are increasing their defense budgets. Europe is rearming, Asia is in a silent arms race, and the United States continues to be the world's largest military spender. For investors, this means long-term contracts, predictable revenues, and healthy profit margins. Defense companies often have order backlogs that extend for years. Defense ETFs group weapons manufacturers, military technology companies, aerospace equipment suppliers, and cybersecurity companies. It's exposure to a sector that historically shows low volatility and consistent returns. Clean energy, the largest capital transfer in history. We are witnessing the largest capital transfer in human history, the transition from fossil fuels to renewable energies. It's no longer an ideological or environmental issue, it's purely economic. In many parts of the world, solar and wind energy are already cheaper than coal and natural gas. And the trend is that this cost difference will only increase. Governments around the world are committing trillions of dollars in clean energy investments. The European Union has its Green Deal. The United States passed the Inflation Reduction Act with hundreds of billions earmarked for clean energy. China is leading in the manufacture of solar panels and batteries. But clean energy goes far beyond solar panels. Energy storage. Batteries are becoming cheaper and more efficient, solving the biggest problem of renewables: intermittency. Green hydrogen produced using renewable electricity is emerging as fuel for heavy industries and long-distance transportation. Smart grids, systems that distribute electricity more efficiently, reducing waste. Electric vehicles. They're not just cars, trucks, buses, trains, and even planes are being electrified. The global renewable energy market is expected to exceed $2 trillion by 2030. Every country that signed climate agreements is now racing to meet emissions targets. And the only way to do that is by investing massively in clean energy. Clean energy ETFs offer exposure to solar panel and wind turbine manufacturers, energy storage companies, green hydrogen producers, and electric vehicle charging infrastructure companies. Biotechnology. Investing in the medicine of the future. Biotechnology is allowing us to do things that, 20 years ago, seemed like pure fantasy. Gene editing using CRISPR can correct mutations that cause diseases. CAR-T cell therapies are curing cancers previously considered terminal. 3D printers are producing organs for transplant, and artificial intelligence is accelerating the development of new drugs from years to months. The biotechnology sector has unique characteristics: high return potential. A single approved drug can generate billions in revenue. Patent protection. Approved drugs have market exclusivity for years. Growing demand. Globally, aging populations mean more need for advanced medical treatments. The COVID-19 pandemic showed the world the power of modern biotechnology. Vaccines that would normally take 10 years to develop were created in less than a year. This wasn't luck. It was the result of decades of mRNA technology research finally reaching the market. RNA is just the beginning. We're seeing advances in personalized medicine, customized treatments based on each patient's individual DNA, gene therapy, correcting genetic defects at the source instead of just treating symptoms. Longevity. Aging research is identifying ways to extend not just life, but healthy life. Early diagnosis. Simple blood tests that can detect dozens of types of cancer years before symptoms appear. The global biotechnology market is expected to grow from about $1.5 trillion in 2024 to more than $3 trillion by 2030. Biotechnology ETFs diversify the inherent risk in the sector. Not every company will develop a successful drug, but in a basket of 50 companies, some certainly will, and the gains from those largely compensate for the losses from those that failed. The smart allocation strategy. Now that we understand the 4 revolutionary sectors, the question is, how do you allocate your investments? Here's a balanced approach that many investors consider. 30% in AI, the sector with the greatest explosive growth potential. It's the base technology that's transforming all other sectors. 25% in defense, for stability and consistency. This is your safe harbor that generates returns even when other sectors are volatile. 25% in clean energy, a sure bet on the global energy transition with strong government support and growing demand. 20% in biotechnology, high return potential, but also higher risk. That's why the smaller, but still significant allocation. This is just a suggestion. Your ideal allocation depends on your risk tolerance, investment horizon, and financial goals. The important thing is to understand that you're not choosing between these sectors. You're reinvesting in all of them because they're all part of the future. The risks you need to know. No investment is a guarantee of profit, and it would be dishonest not to talk about the risks. Volatility, technology, and biotechnology sectors can be extremely volatile. Be prepared to see the value of your investments rise and fall significantly. Regulatory risk. Governments can implement regulations that negatively affect these sectors. AI is being regulated. Biotechnology depends on approvals. Clean energy depends on government policies. Technological risk. Technology that seems promising today may become obsolete tomorrow. That's why ETFs are superior to individual stocks. Diversification protects against this risk. Geopolitical risk. International tensions can affect supply chains and global markets. Timing risk. Entering at the top of a bubble and having to wait years to recover can test any investor's patience. The best strategy to mitigate these risks: long-term investment with regular contributions, dollar cost averaging. Instead of investing everything at once, make monthly contributions. This reduces the risk of entering at the worst possible moment. Why now is the right time? There's a saying in investing: the best time to invest was 10 years ago. The second best time is now. But there are specific reasons why this moment is particularly favorable. Accelerated adoption. Technologies that would take decades to be adopted are being implemented in years. The pandemic accelerated digital transformation by at least 5 years. Massive investment. Governments and private companies are pouring trillions into these sectors. This capital will generate returns in the coming years. Technological maturity. Many of these technologies have moved from the experimental phase to the mass commercialization phase. Public awareness for the first time. There's global consensus on the importance of these technologies. This creates a favorable political environment for continued investment. We're still at the beginning of this revolution. Commercial generative AI is less than 3 years old. Most vehicles on the road still use internal combustion. Personalized medicine is still the exception, not the rule. In other words, you're not late, you're early. How to start today? Analysis paralysis prevents more people from investing than any other factor. People spend months studying more and waiting for the right moment, a moment that never comes. Here's a simple action plan. Step 1. Open an account with a brokerage. In the USA, there are several reliable options that allow you to invest in ETFs. Step 2. Define how much you can invest monthly. Start small if necessary. It's better to invest $200 per month consistently than to wait until you have the ideal amount. Step 3. Research specific ETFs in the 4 sectors. Look for those with lower management fees, higher trading volume, and a track record of at least 3 to 5 years. Step 4. Set up automatic monthly contributions. Take emotion out of the equation. Your money will work automatically every month. Step 5. Don't look at your investments daily. Short-term volatility is normal and can cause bad emotional decisions. Step 6. Reassess annually. Once a year. Check if your allocation still makes sense and rebalance if necessary. The story you will tell in 10 or 20 years. You'll tell a story about this moment. That story can be, I saw everything happening but I did nothing. I watched from the sidelines while others built wealth with the technologies that transformed the world. Or it can be, I understood that something big was happening. I didn't know exactly which companies would win, but I invested in the right sectors, and it changed my financial life. The difference between these two stories is the action you take today. Conclusion: the paradox of opportunity. Let's return to the title. Yes, these technologies will replace jobs en masse. That's inevitable. But they will also generate the largest wave of wealth creation in history. And that's also inevitable. The paradox is that you can be on both sides of this equation. You can be replaced in your job and at the same time build wealth by investing in the companies that are doing that replacement. The choice isn't between fighting the change or accepting it passively. The choice is between being a victim of the transformation or a participant in its profits. ETFs and AI defense, clean energy and biotechnology aren't just financial investments. They're your equity stake in the future. They're your way of ensuring that, regardless of how these technologies affect your job, you benefit from their growth. The revolution has already begun. The only question that remains is, will you just watch or will you be part of it? The future doesn't wait. but there's still time to secure your place in it.